Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope all of you will be doing well with the grace of Allah. Our today's topic in business law is negotiable instrument, and we will discuss in the first lecture of this week, the first part, in what will be the learning and developmental objectives of this lecture. Boys and girls, we will discuss negotiable instruments, meaning, definition and importance of it in business world from legal perspective. We will discuss Negotiable Instrument Act, which is made in British time, that is 1881, and which is now enforced in whole of Pakistan. Pakistan adopted it while enacting the 1935 All India Act of 1935 as its constitution when it was created on 14 August 1947. We will discuss characteristics of negotiable instruments. That what are the characteristics? Is it is again a contract between two or more parties, and we will discuss the different characteristics like freely transferable, right of holder, better title in detail in this lecture. Now coming to the definitions. Negotiable Instrument Act. What is it about? Law related to promissory note, bill of exchange, and check is contained in Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. It comes into force in 1881 and it is now enforceable in whole of Pakistan. Now coming to its meaning and definition. The word negotiable means transferable. Negotiable means transferable. By what? By delivery. An instrument means a written document which contains rights in favor of certain person or institution. Both can be there. So we understand by this sentence that negotiable instrument is a movable property which can be moved from the issuer to the holder in due course, and that will create certain rights in favor of the person from whom that instrument is created, like promissory note, like bill of exchange or check. Now coming to negotiable instrument is again a written document containing a promise to pay certain money to a certain person or institution. It will specify in writing these things. Who is issuer and who is that specific person who will be paid on a specific date in future on certain interest rate. Negotiable instrument means what? A promissory note, bill of exchange or check payable either to order or bearer. Order means that whose name is written on the written instrument, and bearer, whoever, like open check, whoever has that check signed by the promisor in favor of the certain person who holds the check and presents the check in any bank, they will pay that person from the account of that specific person the amount written on it. We will discuss them in detail. Now boys and girls, we have discussed meaning and definition. Till this point, I hope all of you are following the concepts. Now we will discuss there are different characteristics which make it a contract between the issuer and the holder. What are the different characteristics? Freely transferable. Now, what is meant by the term freely transferable? A negotiable instrument can be easily transferred from one person to another. If the instrument is payable to bearer, the ownership is transferred to the transferee by delivery. But on the other hand, if the instrument is payable to order, the ownership is transferred by endorsement and delivery. By endorsement, we mean that we have to write specific name of the owner of that instrument. That is, let's say, bond, that is check, it will be crossed, it specific name will be written on it, and that's the amount will be transferred to that specific person account, or that will be given by the bank to that specific person. I hope you understand. Now to the second point, boys and girls, rights of holder. What are the rights of holder? It is a legal instrument. A holder of negotiable instrument can recover the money from the person liable on the instrument. The holder can recover the amount himself or transfer his right to another person. The transferee can sue the person in his own name in case of dishonor. Right of the person who holds that instrument, he has right to receive that money from the financial institutions who have been directed in that written instrument to pay certain amount on some future date. It may be endorsed to specific person, then that specific person will collect that money on time of maturity, or it may be to the bearer, then anybody who has that instrument at the time of maturity can present it to the financial institution and take the principal and interest money, or if it's a let's say bond, but if it's a check, the specific amount of money which is written on that. Better title. A person who receives a negotiable instrument for consideration and without a notice of defect in the title of transfer is called a holder in due course. Now a person who gets instrument but he does not know that the person from whom he is purchasing that instrument has not a better title to that, he gets the instrument free from all defects of any previous holder. If previously somebody hold that instrument and he lost that and somebody founds it and he sells it to someone, and that someone can cash it if it is written bearer, whoever bears that instrument on maturity will be paid. But if it is the name is there, it is endorsed in favor of some specific person, then that person finds it cannot encash it. Only the person whose name is there, he can encash it. Now promise or order, there should be a clear promise and order in the instrument. A negotiable instrument contains an unconditional, remember boys and girls, unconditional promise or order to pay. In a promissory note, the debtor promises to pay certain sum of money to the holder of instrument. Bill of exchange and check, the creditor orders his debtor to pay a certain sum of money to the holder of instrument. Now there is difference between the bill of exchange and check on the one hand and promissory note on the other. Promissory note promises and directs a certain person to be paid, or whoever holds that promissory note, he will be paid, and that promise is towards certain financial institution or the issuer himself. But in case of check or bill of exchange, the promisor directs the financial institution, the debtor, that they will pay that amount on his behalf to the holder or bearer of the instrument. Now coming to the next point, that is certain amount. A negotiable instrument Coming to the next slide. Certain amount. In negotiable instrument, a promise or order is made for payment of certain amount. A person liable to pay an instrument must pay the certain amount. The amount should be certain. No if and but that. If the amount should be like there are two figures, then it will not be a regular instrument. It will be irregular and it can become void, as it is a contract between the debtor and the person who will be paid. What is presumed? There is a certain presumption which the law has adopted in case of negotiable instruments. And what the law presumes? It is presumed by the law that every negotiable instrument is drawn, accepted, endorsed, or transferred for consideration. Consideration is what? The financial, the value importance in the eyes of both parties, whether that is the person who draws the check in favor of someone or the person who gets that check. There should be some consideration between them. In case there is business transaction, while in case of, let's say, I give a check to my son, that will be from natural love. That will be the relationship I got to him. I give something to my father, that will be considered as a sort of gift. Every instrument must bear a date on which it is drawn. The holder is the holder in due course. That means every instrument must have a certain date in whoever has that instrument, either that is to the bearer or that is to the holder. The name of holder should be there. Writing. A negotiable instrument must be in writing. A negotiable instrument must be in writing and signed by all the parties according to rules, as it is a contract between two or more parties. We come to the end of our lecture. Dear students, hope all of you have fully understand the concepts. Please study it in your books and also listen to this lecture and come up with some challenging questions so that we can discuss it in more detail in the online class. Take care of yourself. Khuda Hafiz. See you